going live right away on all our platforms. Beautiful. Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the Print Doctor Africa Convention 2024, and I'm so excited to come to you this evening. I want you to tell us in the comment section if you can hear me loud and clear. We're so excited because this is the first session, and all our speakers are already in the back end already waiting to go. So we just want to know
First
where you
section
can hear us
and
from. Where you can hear
already
me
in
from.
the back end.
I'd like to know where you can hear me from, everybody. Um, so wherever you're watching from, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, let us know where you're watching from. So I'm checking up right now. I'm checking up right now. Yeah, it is that time of the year again. It is that time of the year
And I'm
again.
so excited.
Okay, so it's loud and clear on my wall. Let me check YouTube. Everybody, please start joining us. Start joining us. It's going to be an amazing evening. It's going to be an amazing time. Let me check YouTube to confirm that we're live on YouTube as well. Okay, to confirm that we're live on YouTube as well. Let's start seeing your comments. Let's start seeing your comments. It's going to be a beautiful time this evening.
Let's start seeing your comment.
Okay, so YouTube is also live. I'm so enjoying this. Everyone, join us on YouTube. Join us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Let me confirm Instagram. Um, Let me confirm Instagram right now. Instagram. Instagram is at Print Doctor Africa, so you just have to choose. All the platforms are live. All the platforms are live. Okay. Seems we'll do something about Instagram. Seems not to be going live along with others. But the Facebook group is live. Facebook on my wall is live. Yeah. So everyone, let us know. Yes, Facebook on my wall. Facebook group is live. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. So we will not waste your time any further. Why do we do the Bring Doctor Africa convention? So on the 19th of July 2019, that was exactly about 5 years ago, short of 2 days, we launched this innovative company called Bring Doctor Africa. And we launched our platform as well. And that has helped more than 700 different authors produce more than 1,000 different book titles for in 30 states of Nigeria, more than 30 states in Nigeria, and more than 10 countries in 4 different continents. And so time we come together to celebrate to celebrate cerebralness. Yes, if you will permit me to use the word, to celebrate intellectuals, to celebrate our our contribution to society. And so we have all manner of conversations. Yes, we're a publishing company and we have great news coming to you on the 19th. Yeah, we're a publishing company, but we're not limited to publishing. We're not just about writing. All our authors represent different fields. And so we just have conversations every year to impact lives, to add value to the society that has given us so much value within that year. Um, some of you would notice that last year we did not have this convention. and it was due to certain factors beyond our control. Um, but we are grateful to God that today, this year 2024, we are able to come again and present to you amazing topics for conversation and discussion. Tonight, I will, of course, we have a panel, which I'm sure you are aware of, but I won't be doing the MC duties tonight. I have someone in right in the back end here. She's an amazing lady, and she will be leading us. She will be the one doing the MC duty tonight while I work at the back end and enjoy the flow of the conversation. Once again, my name is Ayodije Badon, and I'm the founder of Print Doctor Africa. It is time. So, how do I do this? So, I am kickstarting with all the authority given to me as the CEO of this company. I declare that the Print Doctor Africa Convention 2024 is open. Let the ideas flow. So, I present to you Uchi. Uchi will take over the reins and the conversations will begin. All right. Uchi, you have the floor now.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, great panelists. It's so good. So I don't know if you can hear me clearly. I
Yes,
tried using my microphone, but I
loud
don't
and
know, it's
clear.
not really
Feel
connecting. Okay, so it's so great to have you here. I'm so excited. In fact, I can't wait to also learn a lot and to draw value from every great speaker present here today. So, give me the honor to celebrate you all by calling your names Mrs. Asiwaju Dorcas, Mrs. Tosin Shokumbi, and Mrs. Dolapo Ibadan. So, it's so great to have you here. It's so great to have you here. So, I'm trying to open the profile so I can read out our profile. So, but before we begin, I would like to introduce every one of us before we begin the panelist session. And before I proceed, I would love to appreciate Mr.
I think we can't hear you anymore. I think we can't hear you anymore. Can you hear me? Tochi, I think we can't hear you anymore. Tochi?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now? I think
Yes,
okay.
yes,
So,
yes.
so sorry about that. So I want to appreciate him for thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I don't take this opportunity for granted. I have not really done moderation, but I know that this evening is going to be very, very awesome. So thank you so much, sir, for this rare opportunity. So I'm trying to open the profile for each speaker with my system, but I think the network is acting up here. So I would like to introduce first of all Mrs. Ashiwaju Dorcas. So just give me few minutes so that we can proceed to the panelist session. So just few minutes, please. All right, thank you so much. So the first person I'll be introducing her profile this evening is Mrs. Ashiwaju Dorcas, and she's a trailblazing female author an accomplished public speaker who has left an indelible mark on the world of communication, with 6 captivating books under her belt, one of which has already been brought to life in print. So she has proven herself as a literary force to be reckoned with. So she will join us today with 2 outstanding ladies to discuss how she started making money online. So it will be full of insight because the 3 panelists are from 3 unique industries, yet making global impact. Wow. So as is not only a wordsmith but also a masterful communicator, having honed her skills as a speaking and communication trainer with a remarkable record of over 100 speaking engagements. So, as the visionary founder of Talk Generals, she has led her organization to empower over 5,000 brands. Okay, so she has led over 5,000 personal brands in the act of public speaking. So, if you want to read more about her, so you can just visit the website to learn more about her and what she does as well. So we are going to be bringing Mrs. Dorcas first of all to the panelist session. So wherever you are, I want you to celebrate this great woman as she comes forward. Let's put our hands together as we celebrate her. Let's put our hands together. It's not easy. Please, let's celebrate her. Let's celebrate her. Let's celebrate her. It's not easy to actually have such a wonderful profile. Let's celebrate these great people that are going to be speaking to us today. And also, we also have Mrs. Oluwatosin Shokunbi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'll also be reading little about her profile, and you would visit the website to read more about them. So Mrs. Oluwatosin Shokunbi is a language enthusiast and entrepreneur, an edupreneur, sorry. She's passionate, she's a passionate teacher with over 15 years of experience at language teaching. Wow. She's the lead teacher and founder at Learn Gorge, an online language school that teaches a variety of languages like French, English, Yoruba, and Igbo to children and adults. So, because of our time, we won't be reading more of their profiles. So, just kindly visit the website to learn more about them. So, let's also celebrate Mrs. Tosin Shokumbi as she also mounts the podium. We have to see things. So, even if it's online, so we know that they are also here with us. So, we celebrate you. And the last person that will be joining us tonight, this evening for to the panelist session is Mrs. Adedolapo Ibadan. So she's a writer and a professional book editor par excellence. Wow. She works with brands and authors to birth masterpieces. So she's the CEO of the Third Eye Publishing International, a media outfit poised to handle all publishing needs of authors. And she's also the co-founder of Prince Doctor Africa. So let's celebrate her, ma. We welcome you, ma. Welcome, ma. We are so glad to have you here with us, and we can't wait to draw from your wells of knowledge. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you.
We celebrate you. So we celebrate every one of you that will be taking us today on the panelist session. So the first person bringing up to I'll be bringing up now is Mrs. Asiwaju Dorcas. Mrs. Asiwaju Dorcas. Welcome, ma. Welcome, ma.
Thank you so much,
Welcome,
Miss
ma.
Grace. Can you hear me?
She's my mentor. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to have her here. Yes, ma. We can hear you, ma. We can hear you, ma.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be
Yes, ma. We
here.
can hear you, ma. Very
Good
sound
evening,
and clear.
everyone. It's a privilege to be here. I'm super excited for the Prince Doctor Africa Convention 2024, Propel to Greatness. It's an honor to be seated here. Good evening from Lagos, Nigeria, everyone.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, ma, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay.
So, ma, the floor is yours. We want to know how you started making money online.
Wow, that's a big one. First off, I want to quickly say that it's Miss, not Mrs. Don't spoil my market.
Yes, sorry about that, ma.
So please take note, it's Miss Ashiwaju Dorcas, not Mrs. Ashiwaju Dorcas. Mrs. Loading. So that's just on a lighter note. Good evening, everyone, once again. How did I
Yes,
start making
ma.
money online? I actually did not come online
Good
to
evening,
make
ma.
money because, of course, I never knew there was opportunity to make money online. I never knew there was opportunity to make money online. And when I got started online, I didn't start with the notion of I wanted to make money. My coming to the digital space was coming from a place of wanting to help more people. While I was serving in Port Harcourt HA in the year 2015, 2016, I met with some COP members who couldn't face the crowd, COP members who could not stand up, write their names. So I was also the privileged coordinator for the Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship, NCCF, at that time. So I was saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that COP members who are in the fellowship, they lead the meetings. So when we have Tuesday fellowships, when we have Wednesday programs, we do rotate it. And I have the responsibility of putting them to the task. So I'll reach out to people, I'll say, Copper, you are the one leading praise next section. Copper, Dennis, you are the one leading the prayer section. So in the process of ensuring that these people take up their duties, I noticed that there are people who could not face the crowd. What was easy peasy for me was such an Herculean task for a lot of COP members back then. So I have cases where a COP member will write me and say, Copadokas, apologies, let me speak pidgin, how they do say it over there. Copadokas, now you know, I no fit do any leading. Now you fit stand for crowd, I no get, and I no fit do am. So it was like that until I finished the service in 2016. So I was thinking about it even when I went to church. I met with people like this. I was sometimes at some point I felt sad because I didn't see a big deal in it. A lot of people were doing it. I could stand, I could talk, I could do anything I like. So one day when I came to Lagos 2017, somebody just said jokingly, you have this zeal, why not help people? There are people, you can reach many people online. A lot of people online and they cannot do this. So my journey to the digital space, that was just a short background, was not born out of the fact that I wanted to make money. So after coming to the digital space in the year 2019, I started turning out ideas. After a while, I started Gusu Academy, Get Up Speak Up Academy. I ran it for 9 months. I was doing it for free. I was just helping people build low self-esteem, come out of low self-esteem, build self-confidence, come out of mediocrity, make their voice heard. That was what I was doing for 9 months. I was never aiming at money until 2019 November. So I had done free, I had been giving value, I had been there. I never knew that money was there until 2019 when I received and conceived the idea for Talk Generals. And and at that time, I had gotten a coach, and he told me, Dorcas, you can't do this. So this your energy that you are doing. You need to make money from it, so that number one, you'll be rewarded for all that you put up on the stage, and two, people who are truly interested. Because on this your platform, I can see that there are people who do not even need this skill. That's why they will post different things in your group. That's why you will call a section, nobody will show up, and they'll say, oh, Mama, we are coming, this and that. So I had to listen to him at that point. And that was the beginning of me making money online. I think the very first training we did when we launched Tongue General in 2019 November, it was it 2K or 3K? And people paid. Like people really paid. Like we had about 50 something people that paid 3,000 naira back then. And that was the first insight I had into making money online. I was blown. It was like, wow. So people who had not seen me, people who had not had any connection with me except from our discussion online can actually pay me money. So that was the beginning of me making money on the online space. And ever since November 2019, to the glory of God, Talk General's Consults, Talk General's Global Training School, we have kept making money over and over till date. Miss
Wow.
Tochi, are you there?
Yes, ma, I can hear you. Wow. In fact, the first thing that actually caught me was that she wanted to make impact. Wow, 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 wow. So I hope that those that are connected with us online can actually learn that the first thing that actually caught her attention was impact. So it was not money at first. So we are in this generation where most of us want to quickly make money. So that is not it. Something must be your driving force. Thank you so much, ma. That was really, really, I learned it was awesome. Thank you so much, ma. So I'm
Thank
going
you,
to give you a
Prince.
Mrs. Tosin Shokunbi. So ma, how did you? Thank you so much, ma. So ma, Mrs. Tosin Shokunbi, how did you also start making money online? Over to you, ma.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Can we hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank
Mrs.
you.
Tosin, are
So
you here with us,
I'm
ma?
speaking. I'm speaking. Can we hear me? Can we hear me? I'm
Yes,
Yes,
ma.
speaking.
We
we
can hear
can
you,
hear
ma.
you. We can hear you loud
Oh,
and
okay. All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma.
Thank
We
you,
can
sir.
hear
So
you, ma.
yeah. All right. Thank you, Tochi. Thank you for bringing me up here, and thank you for the invitation. Let me not call you that our coded name. I'll call you Pin Doctor here. Okay. All right. So, um, how did I start making money from the internet? So I would like to say that for me, it was not a case of me just happening to stumble over money on the internet. I came to the internet to look for money, right? Because I had been hearing of the possibilities of making money on the internet. So my coming to do anything online was born out of coming to make money. Let me make that clear, right? Because you really cannot have many things done without it, right? And now, language for me is a calling. Language for me is purpose. And shortly before I came to the internet to start talking about my brand, before I knew that I would ever do this, I had done several businesses in my life, right from when I was in the university. And at that point, when I finished from the university and got married, I still was trying to do many businesses, but they kept failing. Somehow they were not meeting the standard. Okay, I did clothing business. I was into bridals. Sometimes the what's the word now? I can't remember what we call them, right? But the people who were working with me would disappoint, would mess things up. And then I would have to use my profits to do the fixing. And I saw that. And then I had to do a lot of traveling. And then, as someone who was living quite far away from maybe the entire world, I saw that it was not sustainable. I needed to fix it, but I didn't really know how. I transited again. I did what I used to do in school, which was selling clothes, buying and selling of clothes and shoes and all that. I tried that for a few times. I got frustrated also at it because it was not a ready market for me. Remember, I was in a new location. I'd not, of course, learned some things that I needed to apply to that kind of business at that time. But something in me wanted more. I knew that I was made to be more, and I was searching. I was looking for that thing that could really, really meet this desire of my heart. So, yeah, one is money, second is calling, right? I came online because, okay, I'll give a brief history of how I came online. I had met a coach online, and we had talked about calling, we had talked about the things that I could do. And then out of all of those things, I figured that, oh, that's true. French language. I love this thing so much. I love it. There's just this passion. There's just this thing that triggers anytime it is French language. Anytime I hear French language or anytime it is about languages and all that, I just get, excited, and then I'm all happy. And so, yeah, I decided to run a French language class in my environment there. So Print Doctor was one of my first students then. I had a baby. I had I think I had a 2 year old and I had another 7 month old. Then I would take them to that venue. We had afternoon classes. I just told people in my environment, come and take French classes for free. And then, they would come to class. A few people would come to class and then we would teach. Sometimes I had to back my baby if he didn't want to stay in his car seat and do the classes. I had a young boy in the community then do my recording for me. So he would record the classes. I thought about, okay, I could do something with these recordings later. So I was recording the classes, doing all of that. And then after a few weeks, I saw that this wasn't sustainable also because languages somehow people, if they're not hardly motivated, if there's nothing firing them up, they would never complete the task, right? It's something that it's a long-term project and people do not always have the motivation to finish up. So yeah, I saw that I wasn't going to have any students after a while, right? Because many people had other things that they needed to do with their time. So it was not working. Then I went home one day and I sat down and I was like, I want to do this French. What else can I do? And then it occurs to me that, wow, I can just record my videos and post online. I can just record my videos and then post them online. Everybody will see them. Now, apart from this class that I was doing in my area, I had an elder sister, right? Someone I look up to as a sister who helped me share the flyer then about that free class that I had because I designed a flyer for it. She shared it in a group of school owners and then some of them reached out to me and then they said, oh, we want to attend your French class. We want to do, but they had this constraint, the location. I was miles apart from them. So you will see that there was already a sellable idea there, but people had the constraints of location. So all of this I put together and I figured that I could actually come online to teach French. Let me do this and see. So I started recording videos all over again. My husband then was the video, was the cameraman. He would, and then we got a board and then I would just write on the board and teach. If you still go scroll down my Facebook timeline till date, you will see those videos there. And I did a 30-day, consistently 30-day challenge. Okay, I was teaching French language and then I began to get traction and I saw that people were interested. They would say, oh, and I want to learn French. Oh, it's just that, and all of that. But I taught the French. I was happy. In fact, after the 30-day challenge, I traveled to Cotonou, to République du Benin, and went to the city of Cotonou, and then I did another short video, went with my brother, and we did videos just so that we could provide a form of acculturation for people who had seen the videos up till that time. And I loved the experience, right? And then the next year, that was in December 2016, and the next year, 2017, I thought to myself, okay, this is not fetching me any money. Of course, there will always be that thing that comes back to what do we do from here? What next step? What's the next step? How do we monetize this and all of that? So I thought about, okay, let me call people to pay for this. Since people have shown interest, I was able to, apart from the fact that some people wanted to learn French, there were people who spoke French who now connected with me based on that, who are friends till today. Okay. And so so I got the flyer out and then I asked people to pay 10,000 naira then for I think 3 months to learn French language. And two people paid. You see, those two people who paid were validations. Two people paid, two people enrolled free. I enrolled two people free and then I had two people pay and I had 4 students at a go. And those people validated this idea that we have today. They made me realize that this thing is possible. The only challenge I would say we had then was we needed to do a lot of convincing that, hey, come, you can learn online. Now, oh, everybody's enjoying the privileges of learning online. COVID came and told us that, hey, you better do it because it's possible. But then we had to do a lot of convincing people, telling them, oh, you can do it. You can save time. You can save resources. You can save energy. You can save money and all of that. Come and do it online. Just come. And then we started with, Skype. Skype was how we started then before I transited to Zoom in 2019. So yeah, that's a brief story of how we started.
I'm so excited. Tucci is out of the software, but I'll just take it up till she's back. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited because I think I was even student number one.
You were. I mentioned your name.
Yes. You said I was part of the first set. I was number
Oh,
one.
you were. You were. Okay, I'm sorry. You were
Ehen,
number.
ehen. So I
Very
was number
important.
one, student
Very
number one. I,
important.
I I love
Yes.
being number one. Every time they talk about language,
Mm,
I think my daughter has taken over now, but I'm still
yeah.
number one. Nobody can take number one from me. Thank you so much. Now I don't know if this is providence or this is divine orchestration.
Arrangement.
I now need to bring up the co-founder of Bring Doctor Africa, myself. Let us welcome Ade Dolapo Ebadan, also known as in my heart, and I say it all the time, the Abilikbawo of Nigeria. Woo, woo, woo. So, how did you start making money online? And please believe me, it was not easy bringing her here. You will notice that you've never seen her on any of Print Doctor Africa platforms talking. So I told her this year, you will speak. Let us hear from you. All right, thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So I eventually honored you, right? So thank you for having me. I feel so honored to be here. As everyone knows, I am proudly the third eyed girl. Okay, so I joined Facebook when everybody was when everybody was joining Facebook. That was in my final year, in my final year in school, 2009, and I didn't make anything useful of it. I just joined and then I forgot about it. And periodically, I'll just drop snippets here and there about nothing exactly. It could be just about gratitude today or something else until 2017 when I started becoming intentional. I know it appears like intentional has become like a cliche, but I tell you it's not. So I began to take my presence online more seriously, and then I made up my mind I wanted to start writing. I wanted to start writing. Writing has always been a part of me. It goes way back. Even when I was in school, I could write just about anything. I had this weird creative ability and very, very exciting. I could just weave words about anything. So I took my writing journey more seriously. And then, yeah, I started I started making more sense online. And then came the emergence of groups on Facebook. On Facebook, several groups were springing up, fast springing up, several resourceful groups now. And then we were just joining anyone. When you sense that anyone would be useful, you join and all that. And I joined. And then I joined Smart B Camp then. So while in Smart B Camp, there was also another group, online publishers group, Open. So sometime a writing challenge came up, and then my husband, thank God, he's already used to dragging me into a lot of things, and I like it. I really love that. He pushes me a lot. So he was like, babe, you write so well. So I think it's high time you joined this writing challenge. Let's see what you in fact he tagged me to a post on that group, and he said I had to bring home the prize. And I was like, wow, this is indeed a challenge. I'm taking this challenge online. I'm taking this challenge at home, and I really have to bring this home. So I joined, and it made more sense. My writing made more sense during the challenge, and people looked forward to my stories every day. It was a 30-day challenge, and I think I took seventh position, or was it sixth? Now I can't really remember now. That was in 2017. And then that was when it dawned on me that, okay, yeah, it was beginning to make sense. I know you'll be wondering, writing, but you're into editing. Yes, I'm just trying to, that was my own foray into the online space intentionally now. So when did I realize that I could make money? So, while online too, I saw that self-publishing, digital publishing was becoming a thing. It was becoming something worthwhile. Authors were emerging like every day, writing powerful books, and everybody was embracing this ebook publishing and all that. And I felt, okay, I'm a writer, and I've always been a sucker for excellence when it comes to writing. So I saw a need. I saw a need. I saw that writers were springing up every day. They were turning out content. They were writing resourceful books, and I could be of immense help to them. I could actually help authors to publish error-free books. So it was a need I saw, and I saw that I could actually meet that need. So my own entry into the online space was through writing, and then I saw another need, which was authoring. I latched onto that. I began to help authors to edit their manuscripts, and one manuscript after the other, and we are here today. And I tell you, there's money. There's money online. There's money online. Nobody wants to meet any editor physically today to work on their manuscripts. No brand wants to meet any author, any editor physically before they commit their money into their hands. You just have to treat one person right. Just make sure that any manuscript that lands on your desk is well done, is properly worked on. You put it out there, and the testimonials will keep coming. And from there, you keep going. So that is
All
my
right.
story.
Okay, thank you so much. We have many questions, but we do not have a lot of time. And so, from that introduction, I will start to ask you um, some of those questions. So, we have 10 questions for us, and the three of us will have to answer each question. Please oblige me in 3 minutes each, right? So that we can still get done by 6 p.m. 3 minutes each, please. All right. So this question you probably have answered. So let me skip to the next one. So how did you know that this was something you wanted to do, and what were the very first steps you took? Uh, just help us. You might have touched it, but now I want us to be more intentional about answering the question. So, what? How did you know that this was what you wanted to do? Of all the things you could do, and then what are the very first steps, the most important steps that you took towards this journey? I will take Ashwaji Dokas, please.
Okay, very quickly. Thank you so much, Prince Doctor. At what point did I know this was it for me? It was at the point when I started having fulfillment. It was at the point when I started receiving feedback. So there was this particular day in 2019, I can recall the exact date. It was after we launched Stock Generals November 15th. It was after the 3 day section. So that was exactly November 21st, 2019. This lady reached out to me and said she wanted to give a presentation, that she was a lecturer at that time at OOU that time, that somebody recommended me. She was afraid, this. So I just taken a few courses here and there, even though they were not professional, so to say, at that time. I was just using the fact that I am one of those who can say I am born with the gift of God. So I gave her some tips here and there, and she went away. Till 2020, I had never heard of her. 2020 until 2020 December again. I think that was roughly after a year. And she came with, she was the first person that gave me gift, gifts in kind, because she actually sent me fabrics, like six yards of Ankara, three places. That was the first gift I got from social media. So she called me up, Daddy, and said, "Hello, Lucas, can you remember me?" I said, "No, ma, I can't remember you." "Okay, please, can you send me your phone number? I want to speak to you." So I sent her my number, and she started giving me all what had happened. She said everything I said was just playing on her head, and it was as if she was seeing them at her front as she was presenting. And it was actually a big breakthrough for her. And after then, she had been transferred to Ghana. That day, I was overjoyed. That day was when I decided that this was it for me. Because prior to when she called me, I was having some uncertainties at some point, something I started doing for free, then I started doing it requiring money. So the number of feedback I got, the number of registrations, participation that I got was dwindling compared to when I was doing it for free. So as at that time, I was feeling quite uncertain. Perhaps I should never have charged money. Perhaps I shouldn't have done this. I should have done that. But that feedback that she brought was everything for me. And even until today, I say that the feedback that I get, the joy that my clients get, keeps me fulfilled. Sometimes I'm penniless, sometimes I'm heartbroken. But once I go back to my archive, I read about the good things that people say about my works. It just gives me this ease and this peace. So this takes me to what were the steps I took. After then, I started taking professional training serious. Prior to that time, I had gone to inquire how much was speaking training, how much was communication training, and trust me, let me not lie. Well, I was hearing 60K, 50K. As at that time, 60K was quite a huge sum. So, and truth be told, I couldn't afford it at a whole, at a go at that time. So I was retracing my steps. But after that feedback, and many more feedback that came in from the first Talk General's paid training. I knew that I wanted to do my life. I wanted to do life with this, and I had to do it well. So the quick number one step I took was that I started getting professional certifications, and not just certifications. I paid, and two was that I got myself a coach, a trainer, and it's not just okay, just a coach for them. A coach that I am an accomplished coach that I am very close to.
Mm.
I have access to them, not just that, okay, I just paid for their training. No, I went to the event he attends, I volunteer because I wanted to be in their circle. So, and number three, I itemized the names of people who were actually doing what I wanted to do. I think that was when I knew about my mentor Joyce Daniels, because at that time I was trying to figure out, are there any ladies succeeding in this industry? Are there ladies in this industry that
Okay,
are actually
Ashiwaju.
making it? So I will stop there for now. I will say that was it for me. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you can.
Prince Doctor, sir.
Okay, let's expect him to be back soon.
Okay, let me just continue so we don't keep our audience waiting. So those were the key things I did. I got into the circle of like-minded people who were on the same journey I was. Two, I volunteered. I got attached to an accomplished speaker. I volunteered, served, and did everything that I could so that I would be in their circle. Prince Doctor, you are welcome, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I quickly the system just took me out briefly.
It's all
Okay.
right.
Okay, so can we have Mrs. Shokumbi? Same question. Tell us. Yes.
Yes, sir. So thank you very much once again. The question goes, how did I know that this was what I wanted to do, and what steps did I take? Right. So I'll say that, how did I know this was what I
It's
wanted
like
to do?
your video. Did you do anything about it?
I
It's
can
not
hear you. I can see myself. Let the
okay.
others confirm if they can hear and see me.
We can hear.
I
I
can,
can hear and see you.
Okay,
okay, you
good.
can see that too.
All right. So, for me, how did I know this was what I wanted to do? Remember when I was talking earlier, I said that I had met a coach in the course of my looking for life, looking for satisfaction, looking for fulfillment. So, in the course of interacting with this coach, she had used a template that I believe works for most people. These are questions that you get asked and help you figure what exactly you are wired to do. Now, you may have many potentials, you may be able to do many things, but you will see that there is an order. You will see that there are some that would occur more than the others, and you see that, okay, I can do this now, maybe the others can wait till later. So for me, French language kept occurring, it kept recurring, let me use that word, right, in those questions and in the answers I was giving. And I thought, this thing gives me joy when I do it. When I'm teaching, I'm so happy, right? So this is it. This is what I want to do. So that was how I got to know that I wanted to do French language. Now, the question to how I now did it. So, of course, nobody will tell you exactly how to do these things in that sense, except someone who has walked the path. For me, there was no one who had walked that path in Nigeria. That's why till today we say that we are the pioneers of online language learning in this part of the world, because I searched and I could not find any word to say that. Come on, even major organizations that do languages were against online language learning. Then they would even publish disclaimers to say that they are not doing online classes. People should not embrace such and all that. Maybe because they had some teachers amongst them who were trying to go behind them to do. I don't know, but that's what we had then. So for me, the only person I could connect to now, two things. The only two people I could connect to were foreign audios. I remember that we could go online, even when I was in university. I used to go online and download some uh, language learning audios. So that told me that, okay, these people have actually gone ahead. They have recorded these things and they have uploaded it online for everybody to have access to, right? And then there was this other man also, a French man, who would just come online. He would go to places, use a billboard to explain certain words, certain sentences on the billboard. He would do it so happily, so joyfully, and you who is learning will get so much to pick from whatever he said. So those two things gave me the idea that this thing is possible. We can do it, right? Even though it's not being done in this part of the world yet. So for me, I got those as validations, right? And I knew that, okay, we can do this. So I started with video, like I said, making videos. That is so important. I believe what videos did to me then is that it put me in the public. It put me in the faces of many people. There are 1,000 now. That is an underestimation. There are millions of people on the internet every day. So when you show your face, people see you, connect with you, and then they are able to relate with whatever you have to say. That was what doing videos did to me. And funny enough, I would record these videos in the night, late in the night, because my son had to sleep. So anytime when I figured he had slept, and I would go and then we would do these videos, and then I kept publishing them, and consistency came in there because I didn't publish one video and rest. I did a 30-day challenge, right? I consistently put out videos every day of the week. Now, there's this saying that when you want to teach a free class, teach it as though these people paid 1 million for it, 1 million naira, right? For that class, that free class. So I think that's one of the things that I also did, because after then I got people to come on WhatsApp to teach French free classes, and I ensured to teach as though 1 million was paid for it. The next year, after that first year that I had a 30-day challenge, I had another 30-day challenge again, so that we could remind people that, hey, we are still here. That was in 2017. 2018, we had a summit, right? 2018, we had a summit. So all of these things, all of these steps helped us to stay in the faces of people and put us out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So we'll go straight to the third-eyed girl herself. So tell us, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So I knew I wanted to do this when I finally accepted the reality that getting a physical job wasn't forthcoming. It was when reality eventually dawned on me that, okay, I was done whining, I was done complaining, I was done wasting away. Yes, wasting away, because after marriage, I was after my wedding rather, I was just fighting it that I had to work, and I tried to get a job, nothing was forthcoming. But I'd always known that writing and editing were innate for me, but I didn't just accept it. So I knew this was it for me finally when I accepted that reality, that I had to do something useful with myself, and I had to make impact. So, and that was when I, launched online through writing, so I could actually position myself for for clients. And that takes me to the steps I took, the 3 steps I took. First was I was strategic about my positioning online. I knew that I was going into an industry that needed proof. I knew that was for you sell yourself as an editor, people have to see people have to see how good you are with words too. Your writing prowess and all that. And that was my catch. I started writing. I was using my writing to sell myself. I wrote in a way that anybody who wanted to engage with me would know that okay, if I tell them, I confidently I tell people, go through my timeline. I have scores of stories there. You read through, tell me what you think about my writing, and you are sure that when you leave your manuscripts in my care, you are sure to get the best. So I was strategic about my positioning. And then I sold myself, like I said, I sold myself. I was intentional about getting feedback and, using the feedback to promote my brand. I was very, very intentional about that. And then I did something too. My step three now that has kept me online and making money today is I do reviews. When I work with a client, I don't just move away like that. I build relationship with clients. I take it beyond the clientele service provider thing. I go ahead, I do a review for any job I work on. I put it out there to sell the person. And a lot of people are able to also come back and read the reviews, and it works for me. It sells me more. So those are the three steps that I've taken so far to continually stay and make money online. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So, our panelists, can you please come back up because we are just about to go to the next phase, and that's so. What were the biggest challenges you faced? The biggest, like, okay, don't let's say biggest. Let's take top one. The biggest challenge you faced. I don't want us to drag it further because we still have so many questions. And so just take one and build flesh around it for us. What was the biggest challenge you faced in this business? As in that one that could have shut down the entire idea for you, but you overcame. So let
That's
me
such
start.
an interesting one.
Yeah.
The biggest I faced back then was the fact that there was no, I don't know how I want to put it now. People online back then, people who were on social media, using social media back then, they were not those that were paying. So it was such a challenge for me at some point. After I had taking the professional certifications, I was bustling with energy. I wanted to share, I wanted to talk, I wanted to do almost everything. So when I turn out these offers, when I create offers, when I share offers, I figure out that most people would celebrate me, they would clap for me, they would like the content, but they were not able to buy. Unlike now, when we have more knowledgeable people, more people who want to use the digital space to establish their brand, to make their voice heard. So unlike back then, but one thing that kept me going was the fact that I knew my why. I knew I didn't came because of the money. So it helped me to tarry. Let me use that language. It helped me to tarry. I stood and it got better. Thank you, Prince Doctor.
All right, I'll just continue. So I wouldn't. Yeah, please confirm you can hear me.
Yes,
I can
Yes,
please
hear
go
please.
All
ahead.
right,
you.
good.
Please go
Yeah, so
ahead.
for me, what the major challenge we had then was poor quality internet. Internet frustrated us, I can tell you. You know, it was so bad. It was so bad. So at some point, I would want to teach a class and I would have to drive out of my house to a particular place outside my house, sit in the car to take classes, whether it was in the morning or in the evening. At some point, I had to stay miles away from home around my children's school. In fact, at some point, I was using pre-doctor office for classes. I did all sorts just to ensure that I had access to good quality internet. So yeah, poor internet service was really poor at that time. And until I spoke up, one of the things I did then was to speak up. So I posted on the one day online about the service provider I was using not being good in my area and all that. And I can tell you that I got immense help from speaking up. They came down, engineers, they sent engineers down to my house about 2 different times. They told me they were already working on having another mast around my area. They did all sorts, and the quality improved over time until I was able to even get my own Wi-Fi for my house. So yes, internet. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just take it from there. My biggest challenge when I started out was thinking I could, just edit without tracking my changes. I was just eager to get manuscripts, just go ahead and do all my amazing edits without tracking them. And then when I send the manuscript, the clean job to the clients, they read as though it is what they wrote originally because they are not saying anything. Everybody assumes that, okay, since we can't see red markings, we can't see highlights, we can't see editor's notes, we can't see this. So I'll say that it was really frustrating. And the feedback then was usually poor. So it broke my heart. I was almost giving up until I learned the proper ethics of the profession that whatever, no matter how professional you are, no matter how intelligent you are as an editor, you need to show your workings. It's just like a mathematician not showing workings. So I had to start editing using the track changes. And then when I send 2 copies of your job to you, I'll send the tracked copy and I'll send the clean copy. So by yourself, you would see everything that had been done on your manuscript, and it helped clients to appreciate the job done better. So that was the biggest challenge for me when I started out. Thank you. Is
I'm
Spring
thinking
Doctor there?
network has routed them out. So we probably need to wait.
Wow.
Okay, instead of waiting, maybe we should. Mrs. Abado, can you continue on any of the highlights?
Okay.
Yes, yes. You can pick one and just say something about.
Okay.
Then you can
I'll,
pass it
ha-
to
I'll have to
us.
check. I'll have to check my message.
Okay. I have a question here that I think we should answer. All of us should answer. What role did social media play in your brand's early days, and how did you leverage it to grow your audience? Or have we answered that already? Or what strategies did you use to build brand awareness and generate buzz around your product and service?
I think you read a question. Go about it again. Let's take that.
Okay, I wasn't sure you were still here because I didn't see you. I thought I was the only one left here. All right, so I said that what strategies did you use to build brand awareness and generate buzz around your product or service?
Back then there was no Facebook ads as rampant as it is now. So I leverage on word of mouth. That was what helped me in the back then. My clients, my students, they were the one. It's just like teach one, get one more. Teach two, get two more. So once I train a batch, the batch brings the next batch. Once this batch graduates,
Yeah.
this batch brings the next batch. So we're talking about what strategies did I use back then to create the buzz around my business. Majorly was word of mouth. And that's one thing I want our viewers and those that are going to be watching the live section later. That's one thing I want us to take home. When you are good, when you do your job excellently, even without asking, people would gladly talk about your services. People will gladly talk about your products. People will gladly go all out for you. They will create content for you even without you asking for it. So word of mouth was our major way. And interestingly, word of mouth still works today. Still works today. Once we release a particular batch at top generals, that batch, they before even before they graduate, they'll start telling you, ma, when is the next batch? Ma, my sister wants to join, my brother wants to join. So word of mouth it is for me. Welcome back for the print.
You can hear you, sir. We cannot hear you.
We can hear you.
Miss Adedolapo, I think you should take your own question. The question we
Yeah.
just had now. Please share your own strategies. We can hear you now.
Ah, great, great. Okay, so Adedolapo, please, can you just go ahead?
Okay.
The question.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Do you want to go over the question for me, please?
Okay, yes, let me take the question for you again. What strategies did you use to build brand awareness and generate buzz around your product and service or service?
Okay. All right. So in the early days, that's between 2018 and 2020, before I created my signature course on editing, that's the Pro Editors course. What I did and what I still do to date is I make sure that I get feedback. I post testimonials, and I think the referral thing is what works for me majorly. What works for me? I tell people I've always I learned this principle early enough to treat a client right. So when I do a stellar job for a client, they go out there and just like Ms. Ashiwaju Dokas, the stellar becomes, like the advert for the business. Testimonial works a lot. It has worked for me. And then another thing that I saw that, brought people and still bring them is I do a yearly review of or shout out for all the clients that work with me in a year. I post them and I'm not afraid to tag anybody because I use them as my own testimonial. When people ask for my portfolio, I tell them I have the links to these people that I've worked with. So they go back. You can easily chat anybody that I've worked with to ask firsthand how the service was. So there's nothing that is hidden actually. So that's one strategy that's worked for me. And then 2020, I registered Third Eye Publishing, and then I created a stellar course. That's my signature course, the Pro Editors course. So it's another avenue that helps me to continue to make impact. I've trained over 150 editors, and I see them doing amazing things out there. So it gives me great. That's one strategy that's worked for me too. So let me stop there.
Okay, all right. So, in case you're wondering who are the people who have been speaking on this panel for the past 1 hour thereabout, we have three amazing ladies representing two different continents. I wouldn't say more than that. Um, Speaking to us this evening based on their experiences. None of them has less than 5 years making money on the internet. So if you have been thinking about making money from the on the internet, they've been telling you only Yahoo Yahoo do it. It's a big lie. These are people who have made money from the ends of the earth right here on the internet by pushing out their gifts and their trainings. Okay, and so we have had Mrs. Tosi Shokumbi, we've had Mrs. Adidolapo Ibadan, and Miss Ashiwaju Dokas. They have been speaking their minds, no holds barred. So for the next few more, I'm just going to ask one, maybe two or three more questions. This one might need you to dig deep. So we're looking for that pivotal moment, that thing that you did or that happened to you. It could be maybe you did it, or maybe circumstances brought it, but that turning point for your business that changed everything. Can you trace it? Can you just give us an insight, more or less like a testimony, like this is what the Lord has done? I'm going to start with Adedolapo this time. I'm reversing it, right? So that thing, one pivotal moment, maybe one project or one referral, and then boom, everything blew up. Tell, can you tell us that?
Okay. Okay, so as it stands now, there have been quite a number of pivotal moments, but I think one that stayed top of mind I would never forget is when Coach Edinri Edewo referred me to a client from the UAE, and then I worked with him, and he put me on a retainership for a certain magazine that I was working on. He's a lecturer, he's a business lecturer in the UAE, and then it was it was a eureka moment for me. Like like when they say I never expected it. Like, let me just put it that way, just on a lighter note. So, but then, like I said, there have been many pivotal moments afterwards. I've had clients from, or should it be? I think another one should be when I first got paid in a in a foreign currency. It was everything for me. There have been many moments of such payments after that. So I think let me stop there.
Okay, all right. Can we have you, Mrs. Shokumbi, now?
Okay, so yeah, so for me, pivotal moment, 2020 actually. So what happened before then was that I got pregnant in 2019, and I didn't want to be pregnant at that time because I felt, oh, I'm just starting this thing, I'm just putting things together, I'm just, ensuring things are working, and then why would I be pregnant? And so 2019, I was not happy. I didn't even do anything languages. That's to tell you how unhappy I was. But 2020 came. I had my baby December 2019. And in 2020, COVID happened, right? My baby was just a few months old. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, because I'm always someone who tries to look at what is happening, right, in the world to plug into it. And then I saw that it's a good time to do French again. Of course, I was no longer sad. It's a good time to do French again. Now, the other business I had, which is a traveling business, was of course grounded. People were not traveling. So I thought about it. It's a good time to start French. And then I started French classes all over again in 2020, I think around March. And what this did to me is that it made me see possibilities beyond teaching adults. You remember that we were teaching adults only, but 2020 told me firsthand that we could also have children learn online. So, August 2020, believe you, we launched online classes for children. And at that point, my business turned around from being a one man business to what do we call it now, to an organization, use that word, right? Because then we had to hire. That was when I would say that we started doing real business. We started to get more hands on board, and we've continued since then. So yes, 2020 was pivotal for me, and it didn't just happen. It was actually the Holy Spirit that told me roll out French classes for children, and it was amazing the response we got from there. That's it.
All right. Can we now have Ashiwaju Dokas?
When you asked that question, I was laughing because sincerely, I had a lot of light bulb moments, eureka moments, like Mrs. Adidolakwa has called it. And like Mr. Oluwatosin said, my year was the year of the COVID. Each time I look back at that COVID, I usually say, thank God for COVID. Apologies. I know that COVID was the year some people lost their jobs. I am so sorry for that, but thank God for the year of COVID. That was the year that everything took a new turn. Prior to COVID, we had rolled out our trainees, and interestingly, due to COVID, everybody was at home, and I started the Facebook Live section. So I did a challenge for myself back then. So I usually come up online, and that was, if you remember vividly, there was this feature on Facebook audio, live audio. I leveraged on that Facebook Live audio in the mornings and in the night, 9 p.m., 9 a.m. I did it back to back in the month of COVID, in the very second month. I think it was in April. By the time it was my birthday in May, I did 5 days of impact. It was video live section. A lot of people had known me, they had come to know my face, they had come to love my face, and I just launched an offer. I think I called it Ruin Your Fear Masterclass. That was the biggest break. And that was enormous because it was just a 2,000 naira class, but we have over 200 participants. It was huge. Now, as if that wasn't enough, immediately we finished that class, I got my first ever one-to-one coaching client, Mrs. Sholaton. She currently resides in Texas. Yes, she's still in Texas, back then USA. First off, it was my first time getting a one-to-one client. It was also my first time getting paid a huge sum at a go. She paid me 70,000 naira for 1 month one-to-one section. That 70,000 naira was huge, especially after just few weeks of having a major break for my training. So that was the moment for me. 2020 was the year. I used to call it the year of COVID. Can you hear me? Anyone?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so
We
much.
can hear you, ma.
Thank you so much. So I call it the year of COVID because it was actually the year that everything turned around. 2020, I got my first 200 participants for my training at a go. I also got my major client. And you know the interesting part of this woman, after her training, recommended her pastor, recommended her daughter for one-to-one coaching. So it's a year of COVID for me. It was the year the big breakthrough came. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Tochi, you have the floor from
Wow,
Captain.
that was really awesome. I really learned a lot. So I want to apologize for the break in network communication. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. We're so sorry. So moving on, I want to ask Mrs. Tosin, since she's a language enthusiast. So what tools as or resources has been essential to your online uh, business success?
All right, thank you for having me again. So I would say that first of all, Zoom. And fortunately for us, we launched into Zoom before 2020. You know, it was 2020 that Zoom blew, right? But 2019, a student just recommended Zoom, like, Tosin, try Zoom, leave this other one, and
Exactly.
let's. And then I tried it, and since then I got stuck with Zoom. So yeah, Zoom is one of our tools, right? If you call it a tool, and
I can't
Canva.
hear you.
Canva has been our. Can you hear me, everybody? I'm speaking. Hello. It's one of our
I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you loud and clear.
Ma,
All right. Thank
can
you.
you hear ma?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
Yes, ma, I
yes.
can hear you. Yes, ma, I can hear you.
All right, good. So I mentioned Zoom, and then I'm going on to Canva. Canva has been a major one for us. We do our classes, we present our slides, right? You know, you have to prepare your notes for class. We do all of that on Canva. And we have screen recording tools also. In the earlier days, I used the Camtasia Studio, but at the moment we're using ScreenPal. ScreenPal is formerly known as Screencast-O-Matic, but now it is ScreenPal. So I'd say that again, Zoom, Canva, ScreenPal, and we have resources, quiz apps also like Kahoot. Majorly, we use Kahoot. And then there are all the different websites where you can get to generate puzzles and then use and then transfer to Canva to modify and all of that. So we use those online resources also for puzzles and all that. So I'll say that in summary, and of course, Google Suite. Yeah, Google Suite helps us stay together, helps us do a lot of things. You know, you can easily upload your files, you can easily have many things done on Google Suite. And lastly, is when I say Google Suite, it contains Google Forms, contains Google Docs, Google Sheets, contains all of those things, right? And then lastly, I would say WhatsApp, as simple as WhatsApp is, as simple as Telegram is, they are useful for us. We host our classes in those places, just like what Google Classroom also does. We used Google Classroom at some point, but we were not getting, I think that people prefer WhatsApp. We had to go with what students prefer. So yeah, WhatsApp, Telegram, Zoom, Canva, and all that. Thank you.
Wow,
Okay.
that's really a lot. So remain relevant is not easy at all. And I must really celebrate you, Ma. Mhm. Thank you so much, Ma. Okay, can you all still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. So, Mrs. Adedolapa, I would love to hear your view on the tools or resources that have been essential to your business success.
Of
Mrs. Dolapo
being,
Ibadan, is she here with us?
yes, yes, I'm here. Okay, can you
Okay,
hear
Ma.
me?
Thank you, Ma.
All right.
Yes, Ma, we
So,
can hear you.
as a professional book editor, my first major tool or resource that I find most helpful is my brain, followed by my laptop. I realized daily that to edit beautifully and excellently, you need a laptop. And it's one of the things I tell my trainees. Don't let anyone sell that impression to you that with your phone you can conquer the world. Yes, you can start, but you can't go professional with your phone alone. So my major work tool or resource has been my laptop. Then for my pro editors course, I actually use email. I is a test based course, so I just send to students via email. And then another other resources that work well for me are to have the latest editions of the dictionary for consultation, because you have to be up to par with the ever evolving English language. And then the final would be different apps that helps us to check for plagiarism. So when a client sends a manuscript for evaluation, we check if they are not plagiarized content even before we accept to edit such manuscript. So those are basically my work tools. Thank you.
Okay, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma.
You're
So,
welcome.
and lastly, Miss Asiwaju Dorcas, I would love to hear your view on the tools that has also helped you to remain relevant in the online space, that has really boosted your business as a public speaking coach. Hello, Ma, are you here with us? Hello, Ma.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Yes,
Ma, we
we
can
can.
hear you now. We can hear you now. Yes, Ma, we can hear you now.
One major tool that we do use in my industry is the tool of the voice. Is our voice. That's a major tool. I tell my clients, I tell my students, all of the tools that you have are useful, but the number one major tool is your voice. So we ensure that the voice is always in good shape at all times. So you always find me practicing vocal rest, vocal modulation. And one of the apps that has always been with me up till date is this sound recorder apps, because I usually record, I'll just speak, pick it up, speak just to hear how I sound, just to hear how I sound. And another one like Miss Adedalapo is the dictionary app. We use it because we don't want to mispronounce words, because it's a huge turn off for your audience, especially when they are not babies. When they know, that lady is mispronouncing that word. So it's a turn off for them. So two tools that has always been with me is the sound recorder app. I'm always listening, practicing voice modulation, practicing voice projection, practicing my own voice, listening to how I sound and how it does sound to the hearings of my audience. And number two is the dictionary. Number three is Canva. Number four is Zoom. And this teleprompter app, Oratory. Oratory has always been with me. If you go to my Facebook profile, you'll find when I made the video, I think it's about 2-3 years now. It's because of how useful and relevant that app is. It's a pinned post on my profile. I cannot remove it because most people, I found out that after 2-3 years, I made that post. People are still coming back saying thank you for sharing. And what is that app? Just like you are having a live video now, you can actually type everything you want to say on your video, whether it's a training, whether it's a live section, type it on the app, then go live on any social media platform you want to go live. Once you click play on that app, everything you have typed out will be reflecting on your screen. So that way you don't need to put a book to your face. You don't need to hang your book at the back of your phone. It's just on your phone. People are seeing you just like you can see me live. Everything is popping up on my own screen here. So I don't have to look left, right. I don't have to forget anything I have to say because it's live. Even though I am not using it currently, I am just saying that these are the apps that makes life easy for us as speakers and also keeps us relevant. Thank you.
Much, Ma. Before I let you go, I want to know what advice would you give to someone who is starting up their journey? Considering your experiences, I'm sure you will have some failure moments and the lessons you've learned. So I want to learn, want to learn the advice you give to
For
someone who wishes
me,
to start.
what lessons would I give to someone who is just following this path? What are the things I would say to that person? Number one, I would say know your why. Know your why. What drives you? What propels you? For instance, the theme of this convention is propelled to greatness. There is something that is propelling you. You want to be propelled to greatness. There is a push. There is a drive. So one thing I would say is, number one is identify your why. Why do you want to do this? Even if it's to make money, yes, write it down. Some people come into this industry because they want to make more money. They call it side hustle. Some people come into this industry because they have actually suffered low self-esteem and they are looking for their tribe. They are looking for people who are actually suffering from low self-esteem or have suffered from low self-esteem. They want to have their own community. So ensure that you have a why. And even though money may be part of your why, make sure that money is not the major reason why you are doing whatever it is you have to do. Because sometimes when the journey gets dark, when the journey gets lonely, when you do not have that money, my sister, my brothers, you will withdraw. I have been there before. So have a why. Have a why. Ensure that your why is intact. And two, niche down. Niche down. Don't just say I'm a speaker. Don't just say, I'm a writer, I'm an editor. What do you edit? Do you edit primary school storybooks? What actually do you edit? So somebody can say, I train females. I'm a stay-at-home mom coach. Ensure you niche down to the barest minimum. When you niche down, you are able to find clarity. You are not confused at any point in time about your value proposition. So for me, when I started speaking, I knew it was not motivational speaking. So you can tell it's part of it. I'm a trainer. So I serve as a conference speaker. I serve as a corporate trainer. So they are different. They come in different, and sometimes you meet some speakers who also serve as MCs. So number two for me is niche down. Niche down, ensure you know your niche and get to the bottom of which one you actually want to be doing, such that when your name is being mentioned, when your picture or you attend an event, people can actually say something. Okay, of course, you might want to ask me, what if I want to do different things? Or what if I am qualified and certified to do different things? Yes, that's what we have nowadays. But ensure that you are well established on one. Anybody that sees Ashwadi Dokas today or hears Ashwadi Dokas know his public speaking, communication, camera presentations. So today tomorrow I can say, I'm launching this course probably on smartphone. I'm doing this. I have a name. I have established a brand. Likewise, the other speakers, the other panelists are on this section. So another thing I would suggest, I would recommend is ensure that you niche down and have people in your circle. Get attached to people who are actually doing it so well. You did not fall from heaven. You did not fall from heaven. And there is hardly anything you want to start doing today that there is no one that has ever succeeded in it. You just may have not looked enough. So one advice I will also say is go and search, make your research. How many people are successful on this niche? Go and look for them and start following them. If you need to study them, if you need to buy their courses, if you need to attend their events, because of course some doors will not open to you except something comes from you. And that thing in most cases might be money. In some other cases might be service. So identify people who you want to get accomplished to and go after them. Don't let me say everything. Thank you so much.
So much, ma. That was really handful. And I'm sure majority of us following us online are really catching the fire because you can't listen to all this and then you're not propelled to greatness. So she had made silent points. She said, know your why and then niche down. So these two, if you don't take anything home, please take these two. Take these two. So ma, Mrs. Adedolakbo, I would love to know the advice you can give to young people that want to start out newly on the online space. What advice can you give to them as well? Looking at your failure, how you rose, and bringing it in. Thank you, ma.
Okay, so I'll just give three straight to the point advice, and they would be that you should never forget. If you forget anything about this conference, never forget that value begets value. The only way, the only passage you have to people's money is to give them value. You have to give them value for their money, whether you are offering a service, whether you are teaching, whatever it is that you are doing to them and for them. Make sure that you are offering value. That's the only way you can get paid. That's the only way you can get paid. Of course, after being seen and actually positioning yourself, you need to always remember that value begets value. So be known for something and be excellent at it. That's the only way to sell yourself. And the second point would be that you should never be in a hurry to blow. Yes, let me use that word. Never be in a hurry to blow. You don't a baby does not grow today, does not start crawling today, and you expect the baby to start walking and jumping on that very day. No, you need to follow due process. You need to follow due process, and you should keep learning, because you should always remember that even your coach has a coach. So don't think you have attained the peak of knowledge in your field. You should keep learning more, learn better ways to do what you're doing so that you can remain top of mind. When people ask for recommendations, you can come top of mind. Everybody knows you that, okay, when it comes to editing, you can always trust the third eyed girl to do this job excellently. You should be known for something. Don't just be everywhere, you know, everywhere without making impact. Just make sure you're known for something. Never stop learning. Never stop learning, and don't be in a hurry to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Ma, the last word you said never be in a hurry to blow. I think we are in a season where young people just want to blow. Everybody wants to be known, but yeah, they don't even have what they are building, but they just want to blow. So that is a very, very wise advice for any young person who is starting out. Don't be in a hurry to blow. So Mrs. Tosin, what advice can you give to young people starting out in the online space?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yes,
So
we can hear you.
I
Yes,
would
ma, we can
say
hear you,
that,
ma.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I know that now. So I would say that if you're just starting in the online space, one
Your
thing you
daddy
should
has
do
been at
that
home since morning. He
everyone,
did not charge. He did.
uh, okay, I'll start it again. So I'll say that one thing you should note that every other speaker has mentioned is excellence. Really, you can do so much by being excellent at what you do. Make sure to give value. If don't run away with people's money, right? Deliver. Let people be proud of talking about you. That's it, number one, because everybody has said it. I have to reiterate because it has worked for me. You just hear that people are looking for nominees. Okay, I want to learn French, I need recommendations, and then we are being recommended. We haven't done anything special other than give value. That's number one. Secondly, I'll say that after some time that you have built your business, you should not rely on organic growth. Okay, there is a time that you need to step it up. There is a time when you need to realize that organic growth may limit you, may put a ceiling on your reach. So you need to use other people, family and friends. You need to use influencers. You need to use paid advertisements, okay, to ensure that your brand is continually reaching other people. So that is what I will. And of course, tell your story. In telling your story, leverage friends, leverage family, leverage influencers, and leverage what's the last thing? Paid advertisements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Excellence is really a key factor, and we must learn to be excellent at what we do. Thank you so much, ma. So, ma, still on you, ma. Okay, ma. So, as a family woman, how has the online space helped you to manage your family? I want to know how you combine all this together, and then you're still, up and doing. So, considering that, how would you also advise other women to go into this online space? With the fact that some of them might be busy, some can even be full housewives, and we still a lot of domestic work. So will you still advise them to go into the online space, and how you balance it as well? Thank you, ma.
All right, thank you. So I'd say number one is time management. You have to be someone who can manage your time well. You have to be able to manage your time so well because being at home, being a work from home mom means that all the chores, all the to dos are staring at you in the face, all the demands of being a mother, being a wife, being everything to everyone is staring at you in the face, right? And then you need to be able to pull yourself out of this and focus on work. And you have to tell yourself, am I a morning person? Am I someone who works better in the night? You need a plan. Sit down, look at your daily schedule and see what works. Now, one thing I always trick my brain to say that you are at work, you are in the office, right? It doesn't matter what my environment looks like. I tell my brain that you are doing a 9 to 5 at the moment. Your boss would not have you stand up to go and do something at this time because it is against the company policy. So sit down and do the work. And it works for me. With that, I am able to achieve results. So you can use that strategy too. Something is calling me. I stand up. I got this. No. Have a to-do list also. Tick the things that are important things for you to do in the day and ensure you are doing them. Yeah. And honestly, you must be able to separate that time. Let your children know you work from home. Let them understand that there is time to work and there is time to play. If everybody understands it, there's a synergy that helps it flow. It helps the flow become easier. Another thing is if you need to get help, get help. Don't say because you're at home you want to do all the work by yourself. No, If you have to get help from outside to help you, get it and let it be useful to you. Because actually, you are working. It's just that you're working from home. And if you're not careful, you will burn out. It is one thing that we mothers, especially work from home mothers, experience a lot. So avoid burnout by getting all the help you can get. Another thing is structure, especially for those of us who still have young children. Let there be structure. Children should know when to do this, especially during this time that is holiday. Oh, structure is going to come in and help a lot too. Let there be a timetable, time to wake up, time to eat, time to take a nap, time to go to the library, time to do this, and time to sleep. Because in the actual sense, you'll be doing yourself a lot of favor if you have your children sleep earlier, so that you can have more time for yourself in the night. So yes, these are the things that I would advise anyone who is a stay-at-home mom or a work-from-home mom and who still wants to do a lot with the time they have on their hands. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. You really took a lot of points down. Time management and structure. These key factors are really, really essential. In fact, most of us still find it very difficult to manage time. But I'm sure that with time as well, God will really help us. So, Ma, Mrs. Dolapo, I would really want to know, you know, I would really want to hear from you to how you manage your time, how you manage your time as well to balance
Okay.
families and all of that, and
Sorry,
still keep up with the synergy.
she's out of the stream right now. Unfortunately, she's out of the stream right now, but I believe that we have gotten some value from her already, and I take responsibility
Okay,
for her being out of the stream. We'll sort that one out. All right. So I think we can just come to the end of this
okay,
conversation. I I want us to open up if we have questions from our audience. If we have questions from our audience right now, let's see if we have questions from our audience. Um, meanwhile, meanwhile, can you take one last question from or one last question from Ashiwaju Dokas? Yes, as I monitor the live streams across all the platforms, if we have any questions, we have crossed 6 p.m. So can we take that, Tochi?
okay, sir. Okay, Ma, Mrs. Ashwadi Dokas. I know that you're also a busy person as well, but I really want to hear your view too, because I know that apart from this online trainings that you do, there are still other things that you give your attention to. So how do you also balance them? We singles want to learn from you as well. I'm sure those following as well will also want to hear your manage all these things. Like you, and she had a training coming up, so back to back and all of that. So we really want to know how you balance all this together and still show up.
I do two things. They are very simple. I plan on
Kima, can
paper.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And can you hear me now?
Yes, ma, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you
can
now,
hear
ma.
both of you.
So I plan on paper my to-do list for each week, for each day, each month. I always written on paper. My apps on my phone, they are always on alarm. So sometimes I might be in a training and I have an alarm. So I use alarm most times to schedule myself. So 7 a.m. JCI meeting, 10 p.m. chat with Dr. Okpe. So I schedule myself. I plan on paper. So once I plan on paper, I fit them into alarm. So that once the bell starts ringing on my phone, I go to check it and I see that it's a reminder. So setting reminders has always helped me. And how do I avoid burnout? How do I schedule this time that it doesn't disturb the online? So I know when to, I know my limits. So I don't overstretch myself. I don't overstretch myself. I know my limits. So once I see that my strength has failed me, or I am starting to notice my body giving me some, I pause. I just stop. And sometimes for months, I go back to back trainings. Once I finish a training, I go back to back. So I think number one, you need to understand your body system. Once you understand it, it helps you schedule rest, schedule treats and deals for yourself so that it doesn't impede your growth in one place and in another place. So I use alarm, I plan on paper, I also schedule rest. I know when to pause, I know my limits, I know when it is not time to work. And like you are saying that back to back training, there are some days I don't work at all. I don't even do social media. There are sometimes that you visit my status, you cannot find me. There are days that I don't do statements, I don't do stories, it will just be there. So understanding my body type, understanding how things are in my system has helped me to schedule myself. And by this schedule, it also helps me know which speaking engagement should I take. Can I handle this? Can I do this at this particular time? Is this good to go? There are some of my plans, my offer that I delay. So I think planning on paper, knowing what to do, planning on paper, using alarms, using apps, ensuring that you infuse rest, Netflix time, chill time into your activities will help you avoid burnout, also help you to keep getting refreshed and know when to come out, know when to withdraw. That's it for me. Thank you, Miss Praise.
Thank you so much, ma. We really appreciate this information. In fact, that planning on paper, I think I'll really adopt that. I'll really adopt that. So I hope majority of us following online, I'm sure we are taking points. Please, I want us to go to wherever you're watching this live conference from convention from, please just begin to type out what stood out for you, because every speaker has dished out a lot of value. I've written a whole lot of things. You can see my notes. I've written so many things. So you can't attend this convention and then you're not jotting down things that will propel you to greatness. So go on, or wherever you're watching from, go and type out everything that stood out for you, from Miss Asiwaju to Mrs. Adedolapo, and then to Mrs. Tosin, everything that stood out from for this conference. So we are going to it's time to receive questions from Mr. Dedeji. So I don't know if there are people who wants to ask questions. The panelists are still here to answer your questions, things that are bothering your heart. So I don't know if there are
So
questions that needs
I
to be
have not seen
answered.
any questions so
So
far.
over to you, sir, Mr. Dedeji.
IODG. Okay, so yeah, my name is IODG, pardon. I have not seen any questions so far from any of our platforms. So I would believe that people are just
Mr.
soaking
Ayodeji.
everything
Yeah,
in.
sorry, sir,
And
for the
yeah, we're seeing a lot of interactions
okay,
in the
sir.
comment section. Thank you so much for everything. The challenge is that we can't display on the screen anymore. Mark Zuckerberg, before the owner of the platform has instituted a lot of restrictions from third party streaming platforms. So we're using a software that we can stream to multiple platforms. But right now there are a lot of restrictions on those platforms, except you're commenting on a page, either an Instagram page or a Facebook page or YouTube page. But for the profiles and the groups, we cannot display. But we thank you, everyone. We're seeing your thumbs up and everything. So I think we can call it an evening. Um, would you take the vote of thanks to Chi, and then I'll round up from there?
Okay, sir. So in fact, I must say that this convention was designed for me. Apart from the network glitch and all of that, I really learned a lot. I really, really learned a lot. In fact, all the panelists are all in different fields, and they all brought their ideas, their advices. It was I loved the the value that was dished out. So I don't know for you if you are really let me use the word blessed because that's the word that is coming right now. You are really blessed by their by their speaking engagement. So I want to appreciate you, Mrs. from Miss Ashiwaji Dokas to Mrs. Adedolapo, and then to she's not here, and to Mrs. Tosin. Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough. In fact, on behalf of myself and the audience that are following, we really want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, your availability, to ensure that these people are enriched with knowledge. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you tremendously. We can't how much are we going to give you? Myself, how much do I really have? But thank you so much for this value that you have dished us tonight. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that the wise people will always note things down because these kind of informations are not just you actually pay to get all this information and they are not really free. People pay to get this information, but you have them, you know, live here before you. You have them for free of charge. So it's a lot. So thank you so much to the panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. God bless you. So over to you, sir, Mr. Ayode.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Chief for being our host, for being graciously hosting us. Yes, we know that tomorrow will be a lot better. Thank you to everyone who has joined us. I've seen everyone on all the platforms. I think the only glitch we had was the Instagram issue, and I believe very strongly that tomorrow will be a lot better. Showing on your screen right now is the schedule for this concert for this convention, right? Tomorrow we'll be having Mrs. Kemi Walesin by 5 p.m. and she will be speaking about how to navigate life after crisis. You do not want to miss that session. And then by 6 p.m., personal food supply. No, in the country that we are in right now, you don't want to miss those two sessions. Yeah, those two sessions are very important. And then on day three, we would have Olumide Ayinla by 5 p.m. to talking about building cash flow in tough times. And then, yeah, every business owner must attend that one because this is a man who has done great business. And then I will be taking the finale by 6 p.m., which is Propel to Greatness. Yes, it's going to put fire in all our homes. We're all going to learn from that session. So please do not miss any time, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. starting tomorrow. On behalf of everyone at Print Doctor Africa, I want to appreciate all our guests, all our amazing guests, powerful people. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful. Please do have a wonderful evening. Let us put our hands together for all of them. Thank you. So we'll see you again. Keep supporting Print Doctor Africa. So if you are watching this, please go to all our platforms, social media platforms, and follow us at Print Doctor Africa. Have a beautiful evening. Bye bye.
Bye.